Morning, Ruth.
Good morning, Alicia. How are you this morning?
I am here. It's Wednesday. How about you?
Good, thank you. So I have Mr. Dixon in the room with me.
Hi, Mr. Dixon.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay.
To refresh your memory, he's a head custodian that's been with ACPS over 30 years. So you still want me to invite him for every meeting until end of July, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
That's why you see I'm wearing mask. Okay.
I actually don't see you on camera yet, Ruth.
Oh. I'm sorry. Here we go again. Here's Mr. Dixon.
Hello.
I'm so new to Zoom, I'm telling you.
It is A-okay.
So I was wondering, Alicia, I was in the breakout room with Donna Beerley and Alexander Duncan. So I know Alexander Duncan for a while now. We just never have to talk directly because I usually deal with either Tammy Ignacio at the time. Then the torch got transferred to Mark Eisenhower. But Donna Beerley, I know her name, but which department she was from, do you remember?
I do not.
I'll find out.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it was just 3 of us in the breakout room. I don't know who chose us to be in the group, but we will have a good conversation and share our, experiences and ideas. And
that's good. Yeah, no, I think they picked just random groups at that time.
Okay.
Yes. So hopefully we'll start seeing others join soon.
Okay. This really. Oh, may I talk about work since no one's joining us yet, Alicia? One question. I know that I talked to Mark about get information for mask for 9,000 people so far. My question to you is, are those students as well?
That's going to be that's staff and students.
But then I have to think about the sizes too, right? I cannot just get disposable mask in one size. So can we break down into like smaller, like how many child size? What am I doing?
Let me
we can talk later.
Yeah, no, but let me get you the capacity information later this afternoon.
Sure, thank you so much. So I can get
that will probably help.
And I told Mark I'm gonna get the number for disposable and reusable. Okay. I can't hear you. Okay. I'm gonna see if Mark can join the meeting. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Mark was put back in the original group. So I told him to sign out and join this group in the few.
Are they still, they're still on the other call?
Yes, because after the breakout group, after the first breakout group, it put us back automatically with the main group.
No, and that's fine. I was just wondering if that's why people hadn't joined. I left early so I
Right.
could get on this call to let people in.
Right. Oh, see, I shared this with everybody, right? The high touch area. Mm-hmm. So when we go back to school, these are the area that we are, right, concentrated on disinfecting. Bathroom, just like every area in the school. So cafeteria, what is considered frequent touch area? Correct. Right. Okay. I send this to you guys. Okay. I just want to make sure.
We got that at the last
Good.
diversity.
Perfect.
Now I saw that at the last. You know how we was doing the movie. You had us doing the video.
Good. If it just have everybody that attentive and comprehend, like, I'm like, let me mute.
Good morning, everyone. Just providing some time for others to jump off the first meeting and get into this meeting, and then we'll get started. I think we're just waiting on maybe 2 or 3 more folks, and then we will get started.
Dr. Hart, this is John. What do you want me to be in any particular workbook?
Just give me 1 second, John. It's going to work a little differently today, and I'm actually in the process of trying to set up our breakout rooms while I'm waiting on everyone to join. So if you give me 1 second, I can give you some guidance on that.
Okay, got it.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope I have these breakout rooms set up correctly. Fingers crossed that it works this morning. So we had a lot of information that came out of the first meeting. Just wanting to do a quick check-in to see how folks are feeling about the survey data. And anyone can jump in with thoughts, comments, concerns.
I'll start. I just wonder if that survey was conducted with one email per household or one email per staff, because as we know in this new technology, if you want to get your point across, you can do that survey multiple times. So because it just, the staff that I've talked to, I can't believe that 60% is saying that they want to go back. So that's just my take on it.
That's a great point, Bessie. I do believe that another survey will be done. I think that that's what I've heard, because I think at the time that the survey was taken, there's been a lot more data that's come out nationwide just about, COVID, the spread, which may change some of the results. So I do think that there are plans to resurvey those that have taken the initial survey.
Okay.
And do we have a way of limiting so that somebody can only go take that survey once instead of
That's a good question.
multiple times, which is what could happen there?
On the school board meeting, Clint did encourage families who have more than one student, especially if they were different grade levels, to reply multiple times. Just my initial feeling of the survey, I don't think it said anything that I was surprised by. I just thought that the factors that we think about all the time, things about childcare and things of that nature, were not what were top factors for our families. And I think that has been one of the things that I've been grappling with, bringing back multiple of our at-risk populations into a school building and risking exposure and transmission of this virus that could then impact, have grave impacts for them and their families. And so as we've considered our essential questions, and we've had more questions than answers in regards to our essential questions specifically within this group, I think it overwhelmed me with the fact that actually assured me that we may not be ready for a hybrid model.
That's a great point as well, Carmen. I just want to do a quick introduction. We have Mr. Scott Merriman, who is joining us today. He is the new Director of Transportation and Fleet Management. So he is going to be a very important part of this conversation. Kafaya, thank you for your continued support of the transportation conversation. I know you and Scott are going to be working in tandem to really help get us to those finite details regarding our transportation planning. So just want to make sure that everyone is introduced formally to Scott. Were there any other comments, thoughts about the surveys? We're going to do a deeper dive when we go into the breakout rooms, but I just want to, for the collective of the group, to see if there was anything that people were either surprised about or just had concerns about regarding the data.
I noticed that the survey didn't break out the attitudes about families that have children with special needs. And I think they might have some variation about their attitudes about sending their children back to school or whether or not they wanted to come back to work. And I felt that was an oversight.
That's a great point, Dick. Thank you for sharing that. I see Karen's hand and then Kafaya, and then I see Manya as well. So Karen, Kafaya, and Manya.
Thanks so much. Welcome, Scott. One of the things that our small group did that I thought was helpful to the comment about the staff respondents' likelihood on that Likert scale of their desire to return, our small group basically bucketed the somewhat likely and somewhat unlikely together as equally on the fence, basically holding out for more data. So in our point of view, it was 31% of ACPS staff are ready to return. And whatever that number turned out to be, 49% or whatever, those two buckets in the middle would be really on the fence. And then those 19% that are confident they would not return. And that was a more helpful way to look at that data, because I think the somewhat likely are folks that are looking for convincing. I would not put them in the bucket of returning. So I'd feel confident that only 30% of staff surveyed.
And I'd like to piggyback on that. When filling that out, I had a hard time with that because it's basically was saying, will you return to work? And if I had an option, I would choose to work from home. But if we say we're going back, then I'll go back because I have to financially. It's not necessarily a comfort of, yeah, I want to be back in the building. It's financially, that's not an option for me. I have to keep working. So it's how teachers interpreted that question, how staff interpreted that question could have had an impact on how they responded to it.
Great point. Kafaya and then Manya.
Yeah, I wanted to bring in the point about students that we transport to other counties and other districts. I don't think the survey actually made that point. If your child goes to Fairfax County, how do you want to, which one would you choose? Because we do have a lot of kids who go out of district and we transport them either in vans or taxis. And a bus. We have a bus that goes to, two buses go to Fairfax.
Thank you for sharing that, Kafaya. I know that we've talked about that offline, and that's definitely a consideration that, you, Scott, and I see Dick is giving a thumbs up as well, that transportation is going to have to consider as we are looking at these models. Manya?
I just want to say, I feel like there's the only thing worse than no data is bad data. I don't think that these data are very helpful because we don't know if they're per family, per child, their numerous responses. It could be people from out of district. The staff weren't fully asked. The questions were confusing and we undersampled the most at-risk communities. So there's really a lot of selection bias in who responded. I feel like personally at this late stage of the game, people don't have to commit. I don't think it's like, okay, it's almost, end of July, you have to commit to one or the other because nobody has the models, but having an individual link per family, per child that's linked to their email so we can know who didn't respond and we can reach out to them by phone or a house visit or something so we can actually get a census of what people are feeling. I think that's really critical. I think these types of data are not very helpful and the questions were very ambiguously worded. And I just feel like it's I don't know. I'm not feeling that those data were very helpful to spend any amount of time with because they don't really tell us very much at all. So that's just my 2 cents. Not to be negative, but this is a very intensive process and we don't have very much time. So if you're going to do a survey, make it count. And I don't know. I think it's very hard to draw any inference from these data in any direction.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Manya. I do feel like in my small group, there were some concerns about the data shared and if our most vulnerable populations had an opportunity to respond. So I think that you hit the nail on the head, I think, specifically with that piece. Cindy, I see your hand raised.
Am I unmuted? Okay. No, and to piggyback on that in our breakout session too, and I think when we came back to it, they had indicated that yes, indeed, that data is only as good as that data at that moment in time. And over the last 48 to 72 hours, I mean, we're hearing more and more out in the news as far as how this COVID virus is continuing to mutate, how people are being reinfected a second time. I mean, the list goes on. And so, trying to quantify how do we move forward. I mean, we can go back and survey, but I think, in the long run, most of us just felt like we've got to take a stand moving forward on what best meets the needs of the entire district. including, you know, teachers, students, and everything else, and just, you know, drive forward, because, you know, we can data to death, but the problem is that it's only as good as that information at that moment in time. That's kind of what came from ours.
Thank you for that, Cindy. I don't see any other hands. Please continue to put your comments in the chat. That way we can capture any other you know, thoughts or comments or questions regarding the survey. Given the fact that we only have 37 minutes today in our group, I do want to jump into the group activity and how the breakout rooms will work today. What I'm sharing on the screen are the activity that we'll be doing today within our breakout groups. So what you will see is that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll up. This was the activity that we did on Monday. So we were able to get in and give our insights, you know, answer the questions regarding wondering. I'm sorry, if you can give me just 1 second, I need to get a pacifier, just 1 second. Okay, the joys of parenting while on Zoom. So going back to what it is that we were covering on Monday, we spoke about the insight, we spoke about wondering, and we had a few comments noted under the action steps. Today's focus will be on steps 2 and steps 3. And so I shared a link in the chat. When we do our breakout groups, each group, and you'll see the link that I shared is to this particular workbook. You will see that each group, if you click on the specific link, will have their own workbook. And the reason why we wanted to separate out the workbooks today is that it's very difficult to be in the same Google document adding your thoughts when people are on different sections. And so we wanted to eliminate that confusion. So each group today will have their own workbook to work from and to put your ideas into. So what I am asking is when you go into your breakout rooms that you select a recorder, so somebody that's actually going to be the person to type in your thoughts as you're doing this exercise, and then somebody to moderate the meeting. So then that way you can continue to you know, flow through ideas, flow through the activity, but also keep a mind of the time that we have available, which will be about 30 minutes. And so as you delve into the activity, let me just quickly click on the link so you can see what the steps of today's activity would be. Each group is going to have the same document, just to let you know. So today's, goodness, this is not scrolling. Okay. Google Docs can be a little slow. So what I shared in the opening email today was this section. One of the parts today that I'm going to need everyone to complete is adding 3 to 5 sentences. You can aim for 3, 5 is a bit much, about what your core area is doing to, you know, that will be true, excuse me, across all models. So for, you know, cleaning and maintenance, it actually has the statement from the student health populated in this field, but it should, you know, it should say something in regards to cleaning and maintenance. So, you know, we will propose plans that will ensure schools are cleaned, you know, to help mitigate the spread of COVID, so on and so forth. And then when you get to Model 2 and Model 3, under these sections, please add 2 to 3 sentences that summarize what your core area is doing and how your team will support either the hybrid model or virtual model. And then we'll get into the other part of the workbook. We may not be able to finish all of this today, but I do want to at least be able to show you what the other part of the workbook looks like that I need the breakout groups to work on. So you will see that there are decisions, the decisions that are listed on the left column are the decision points that we've actually discussed as a team. They've been pulled out of that general decision document and put into this workbook activity. So we need to decide as we are going through these decisions, is it interdependent of the scheduling conversation, meaning that the scheduling conversation will impact the decision or the decision will impact scheduling? Is it not interdependent, meaning that you can make this decision regardless of what the scheduling conversation looks like, or is it not applicable? You'll notice that under the virtual model, most of these will be not applicable just because a lot of these decision points are based off of return to school. you would identify an owner right now and you just have the groups listed as the owner. But if you want a specific person to be designated as the owner of that particular decision, please note it in the workbook. And then any information that you need in order to recommend guidance for that decision. So there's examples given at the top. For instance, do you need more information on the number of staffing? I think based on today's conversation, we would probably need to note that we need more information regarding the survey data and how those demographics, were noted within the survey, or the breakdown of demographics in the survey. So just make sure, if you're able to also list the information that is needed for each of these parts. I know it's a lot to cover, but are there any questions about today's activities specifically that I can answer before we go into our breakout rooms?
Are we automatically assigned to the rooms, or do we need to
Yes.
click on another link?
So I'm going to hope, fingers crossed, I've assigned people to the rooms based off of your core area. So the student health is going to be the largest core area, which is going to have a mix of our medical professionals, our school administration, and some other members. So that is going to be the largest group. Transportation is a subgroup, custodial and maintenance is a subgroup, security is its own subgroup, student nutrition is its own subgroup. So I think we have 5 different subgroups. I am hoping that when I click the button, the magic happens and you all are automatically transported into your breakout rooms. If not, we will have to figure it out. So are there any other questions before I go to this open all rooms option?
Alicia, this is Sarah. I don't know
Yes,
if I
Sarah.
missed this, but because I had to leave and come back in. Where do we find the document to type into?
So I put the link in the chat.
Okay.
If everyone can just make sure that you're able to see the link in the chat. It should be the second comment, I believe, this morning. And that is the link that you click on. You will go down to your specific focus group and hover over that. And once you click on that link, it will take you to your focus group's workbook, which are now separated instead of being all in one workbook. Are there any other questions? So remember, you need a recorder in your group. You need a moderator to continue to keep the conversation going, and please select somebody to monitor the time. I'm going to pull everyone back at 10:55, so that gives us 25 minutes to really get into the meat of this conversation. I'm about to send you guys into the room, so good luck. Let's see. Okay, you should have gotten an invitation to join your rooms. Please let me know and click. And Sarah, I need to assign you right now. There you go. Bessie and Cindy, if you can please join your rooms. I want to make sure you got an invitation, Bessie. Do you see a separate? Okay, there you go.
personal protective equipment, school nutrition, security, and transportation.
Right, if you hover over transportation and click on it, it should give you the link to the transportation breakout.
Hi, Dick. I'm sorry, I'm joining really quick. You asked for some help, Dick.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that we were able to take the notes that we wanted to.
Yes,
And
sir.
there seemed to be some question about how to get into which document to make those notes.
Okay, are you guys
I think
figuring
Mr.
it
Merriman
out?
figured it out.
Okay, just I'll hang on just to make sure you guys are good, and then I'll jump off.
Dr. Hart.
Yes, ma'am.
Stephanie, where is she?
She has not joined the breakout room. I've sent her the invitation again, so I'm
Okay.
yeah,
So
she's been added.
Okay. Okay. She's gonna go back to it.
Okay.
Kifaya, let me know if you're able to get into.
I'm hovering over transportation.
And then if you click on that link that you're hovering over, it should give you an option to click on it, and it should open up a workbook.
Okay.
Okay, did it open up for you?
It's, I have a very slow computer. Okay. It says, yes, I'm in it.
Okay, great. So then you guys should be good to go to be able to type your notes into that document.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Hart.
Thank you, Dick. Enjoy.
Thank you, Dr. Hart.
Stephanie, do you see a separate link a separate invitation that came to you to join?
I need to get in 4.
Yes, so if you click, you should have gotten a link to join that particular breakout room. Did you get that link by chance?
No, I didn't.
Okay, let me see if I can reassign you again. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
So moving you to, I'm not sure why it's not allowing you to do it. So you may have to sit in with Kifaya. I'm sorry, Stephanie, I'm trying to send this and it's not allowing me to send you directly to the breakout room.
Okay.
Do you mind sitting in the space with Kifaya to do
Not
this?
at all, not at all.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome.
Only view.
Good morning, how's it going?
Hi, Alicia. Did you share this document that we can edit it? Because I can't edit.
It's in, so did you click on the link?
Yep.
And you clicked on cleaning and maintenance?
Yes.
And you're saying you can't edit it? You can't type in the document?
That's what I said. Yes, ma'am.
Hold on. Let me open it.
And are we in cleaning and maintenance or personal protective equipment, me and
I
Mark?
need you all to do both today since Anita's not on the line.
Congratulations, Mark.
So let me see. Yeah, I can type right in it. I'm in it now.
I'm in it now as we speak, and I cannot click or type.
Okay, can you see if Mark can try to do it on his computer? Because I'm able to do it. So I'm not sure if it's the computer or if it's maybe the link, or maybe click out of the link and click back in.
Okay.
And see if that helps.
Okay.
And so I'm going to let you do that. I'll check back in about 2 minutes, Ruth.
How can I get back to the link? Because since I'm not in that room with the link that you share.
Yes, give me 1 second. Let me put it in this chat right here. I don't know if I can do it that way. Let me leave the room and see. I'm going to share it again. You should see a message that comes across your screen as a note from, the main room, and it'll have that link in it. Have you clicked all the way out of it yet?
I am now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. So let me do
Okay.
this, Ruth. I'm sending you in the chat right now. I just sent you
Okay.
the link. Do you see it?
No,
Not
in the
not at
chat?
the moment.
in the chat.
Yes, in the chat. I sent it to Ruth privately.
Okay, so go,
Hold on. So
oh, is this chat? Is that chat?
Chat is the little square box icon that's going to be at the bottom of your screen. You should see beside participants, you should see a little box that says chat at the bottom. You see that? Click on that. And do you see a message that pops up to you?
No.
Okay. It says that it's sent. Okay, so I don't know how else to get you back into the document.
I don't know either.
Because you should be able to see the chat. Try it again. Click on the chat button. And you're telling me that there's no message that pops up to you.
There's a message that pop up, but it's not pertaining to any
It should have
site.
a link. It should have a link in it.
Yeah, there's no link on this chat, Shane.
Okay, so
I see like 10 different chat, but there's no link.
No, go all the way down. Go all the way down to the
I did.
bottom,
I
and
did.
You don't see one at all that says to you
No.
privately?
No, ma'am.
Close that.
Okay.
So let me close the chat and I'll see if it might be updated after I close the chat.
Okay.
No, that's not us. Close
Okay.
that.
Close this one.
No, close that chat thing.
Close the
whatever
chat,
it is there.
okay.
That's support. Okay, now go to the bottom of that Zoom and see if there's a,
Okay,
Do
so
you see the chat in general? Do
Yep,
you
yep,
see
yep.
it?
there, right?
I'm on the wrong screen. That's the
Okay.
issue. Yeah.
So you see it now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so click on that link and it should take you back into the document.
Okay.
Hover over cleaning and maintenance.
Yeah.
1 second, still loading.
Okay.
Cleaning, right there, cleaning and maintenance. Hover, right there.
Okay.
Hover.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
Well, that's right.
See,
there.
it's not the link. The blue one is not the link. So I have to
Now
come
go down and you'll see
Right.
that there should be separate links. Click on where it
Yes.
says cleaning and maintenance.
Right. I see that. That's how I got to the,
Okay, and now try to type in the document under where it says.
You know
like-
what? You know what happened?
Edit link.
What?
When I open it,
Uh-huh,
that's the option at the top that I look at. I didn't look at it.
okay,
I should click edit link.
yes.
Because
yes.
if I open on its own, I can't edit it. So
Okay.
I have to choose edit link.
Okay,
Let me see.
Open it then.
Wow. Okay, let me try another one. I'm gonna open preview and see if I can edit that way. That's what I did last time.
uh-huh.
Hmm.
No, don't open preview. You want to actually click on the link and it'll take you into the document. I can see the screen behind you, so you should be in the document. And right now you're looking at the colored section. Keep going, keep scrolling.
How can I expand this screen?
I'm not sure. I'll
Yeah,
be honest with you. I'm not sure, but can you click inside the actual pieces that you're supposed to be filling in? And
Are you
type?
looking at my screen? Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
See, I'm clicking that where we try to type, but it's not give me access to type.
Okay, so hold on for a second. I'm going to share my screen, Ruth. Hold on for just 1 second.
Okay.
Okay,
We're rookie Zoomers.
that's okay. So you see how I'm over cleaning and maintenance right now? Do you see on my screen, on your screen in front of you? Do you see my screen?
No.
Not at this time.
Okay, I think it's something because you guys are trying to connect to the two big screens in the room. So you don't see my screen at all on your screen. You don't see me moving the document right now?
It just came up. There it is.
Okay, I have to go back to the Zoom
No,
page to see.
no, you don't. You should
Okay.
see my screen on this breakout, in this breakout room. Do you see my
There
screen?
it is, right there.
Okay, so you see that my mouse moving?
Okay, hold on, guys, hold on. The screen that I'm in right now, after I click to the, from the link cleaning and maintenance, I don't see your screen.
Do you see me?
Okay.
See my picture?
Nope.
When I have another icon of the Zoom on the very bottom of my screen.
Okay, you should have on the very bottom of your computer screen, you should have a little camera that's in blue. Do you see that?
Wow, okay, hold on.
Okay, how about this? Because I do have to jump into the other rooms.
I know, sorry.
No, that's okay. If you go back to the email that I sent this morning, I had an example highlighted in that email of the chart. Just go back to the email and just put in the answers to that particular chart that you see in the email for cleaning and maintenance. Don't worry about the other piece because we're not going to be able to get to that today if you're having these the issues trying to write in the document. So just go back to the email that I sent. You should be able to pull that up. You'll see at the bottom that I highlighted the example of what we were going to do today, and that includes those 3 main questions that I need you all to answer. So please just use that as you know, and just answer those questions. You can put it in a separate Word document. You can just send it to me in an email. That will probably work a little bit better for right now.
Okay, okay, let's do that.
Thank
you.
You're welcome.
So minimize that.
Go in there, put another one. Do we re-explore the idea of student meal kits for longer than 2 days at a time? We were talking about that, if you recall, and I don't know how you want to word that. Sarah, you might want to come in with some more different language on that too. I'm just thinking out loud, but kind of the model that we
So the guidelines on this with the CDC are fairly clear, but they're changing rapidly. So I'm not suggesting either way. I'm just saying that that's something that I think we're going to have to comment on.
Counseling in lieu of something punitive.
Hi guys, is it going okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. I know it's just you two, so I wanted to make sure I popped in and just see if you guys needed any assistance.
Yeah, it's a large team, so we're trying to get through it.
Okay, I'll see you back in the main group shortly.
Okay. All right, see ya.
Did you leave your group early, Sue, or did it just bring you back automatically to the main page?
I went blank for a moment.
Oh,
and then
wow.
came here.
Okay, great. I don't know how the pulling everyone back works, so I was just curious to see what your experience was.
Normally you get the pop-up that tells you there's a countdown. And I
So
got
it's
the
counting
pop-up.
down on my end, but I don't know if it's counting down on the end of others.
Yeah, you get the countdown, and then normally but mine this time, as soon as the countdown popped up, my screen went blank.
Oh wow. Okay. Thank you.
So obviously mine was weird.
So I think others should be coming back. I think we should all be back now. Okay, so how'd it go?
Haley.
I see some thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Time flies.
It does. It definitely does. I see interesting. Okay. I don't believe anyone finished the activity, which is fine. I just wanted us to be able to, get to some of these questions that are being asked. I do have a quick question of the group, and I'm just going to poll and see what the majority says. On Monday, would you be opposed to staying on to 11:30?
Nope.
Okay, and the reason why I'm asking that is because, as you all see, originally the plan was for us to have 2 hours with our planning teams. But what ends up happening is that as we have to do collective exercises in the main group, we start losing some of our individual group time, and it doesn't give us enough time to really get into the meat of the exercises that we're trying to do. So I'm going to ask, definitely for next Monday, we may have to do it next Wednesday as well, just for us to be able to extend our time to 11:30. That gives us an additional 30 minutes to really get into our activities. I think I'm going to continue the breakout room process, so then that way we can focus specifically on our core areas, because we are now to the point in the activity where we have to start thinking about these decisions, making recommendations for guidance, and really kind of pulling together all of the pieces that we've been talking about for the past few weeks. So,
I would have to ask my supervisor for that.
Thanks, John. It's approved. With that said, I will make sure that Monday that everyone is just reminded that we'll stay on to 11:30. If you cannot stay on, that is fine. But again, I just wanted to put that out there to the group prior to us getting off today. I'm also going to take a lot of the feedback that I heard today regarding the surveys and bring that back to our chair meeting tomorrow. I think it's important for the group to really be able to hear the different points of view regarding the surveys that has gone out and the survey results. There were a lot of questions, specifically from my small team, about how the demographic information broke down, not just amongst race, but amongst, for instance, the employee group. So there was one of those data points about the return to work and the likelihood and so on and so forth. And there were 19% that said that they were unlikely to return and 18% that said that they were somewhat unlikely to return. And really wanting to understand who those people are, what groups they belong to, because I think it's going to be important as we are making personnel conversations or decisions that would need to be able to support a hybrid model. Michelle, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to know about the additional time and how much we will work in groups outside of this, because I'm feeling a little pressure that this is a really important group to get through all of this.
So, and I agree. And so that is something else I'm going to open up, and we can talk about it a little bit more offline. I'll send an email to the group just to gauge what everyone's thoughts are. Is that if you also, as independent core focus groups, want to schedule time outside of our general discussions, I'm fine with that. The one thing that I do ask is that if you do that, that you do it through Zoom, that your meetings are recorded, and that whatever you work on is relayed back to me, so I can make sure that I'm able to speak to it for the entire group's knowledge of what's been going on outside of our group format. Specifically with student health, just because there are a lot of moving pieces, and that is the largest group and a lot of decision points that need to be made. If you all feel like additional time is needed, I will ask that you all, speak to one another, separately. You can create your own, conversational group, which I know you guys have already done, because I've seen some of those emails, and just really say, is there a time that works for everybody for you all to be able to meet to get through some of those other items? I am not opposed to that at all. And that's really open to any of the other groups as well. If you feel like you need that additional time, I'm trying to be respectful of everyone's, time and work-life balance, but I also completely agree with you, Michelle. There's a lot of decisions that still have to be made and wanting to make sure that we're taking the time to really assess and do that. So I'm going to leave that up to the individual groups to decide if that additional time is needed outside of our solidified group times, if that makes sense. Did you have another question, Michelle? I see your hand still raised. Okay, Dick?
Yeah, in our group, we decided that there were several things that are interdependent with things that are being decided or discussed or planned in other groups, but yet we're asked to make observations and determinations without any consideration for what's coming out of those groups. We need some way to relay that information to us before we try to make a decision. We don't want to make decisions that are not based on reflecting how we interact on that particular issue with the objectives of other groups. And we cannot do that. We need input from safety, from health. And before we try to make any decisions about what happens to students at bus stops or in the bus, we need to know what else is being decided about that.
Okay, so that's a great point, Dick. And what my thought is that, and I need to check back with the overall chair schedule, what my thought is that we will have an opportunity to do that next Wednesday. Once we're able to individually get through those exercises as the subgroups, we'll be able to come back and discuss collectively what those parts and pieces look like. Additionally, what the hope is that by the end of this week, that separate core SEAL group would have come to some recommendations regarding potential models that we would use if we open in a hybrid space. That will also allow for further decisions to be made once we have that information, and we anticipate having that this Friday. So by the time we regroup on Monday, I think you'll have a lot more information and a lot more guidance that will lend itself to being able to really start honing in on some of these decisions. I can't promise that we'll have everything that you need, but I do think that there will be much more clarity by Friday and then by Monday for the time that we meet for our group and then our core focus area activities. And so Michelle is asking, sorry, I muted myself, an update on the vendor's ability to fulfill orders. So Ruth and Mark, I don't know if you all are ready to speak on that. I know you've been working offline with working with vendors to order materials and get things situated. So do you want to say anything about that? And you may want to ask Mark if he's having a different conversation, just let him know that you're okay, that you're on camera.
Yes, we are still working on it. So I'm not ready to speak on that part. And plus, John, we have meeting with John Contreras this afternoon to discuss further about this plan, to support this plan.
Okay, so by Monday, would you say that we will at least have some more information regarding PPE availability, so on and so forth? Okay, so I've shared this with Michelle offline. I do want to share it with the group in general, that there are some proactive activities that I've asked my team to start working on. One of those is the PPE piece, reaching out to multiple vendors, seeing what the availability is. We also have some stock currently on hand because, as you all know, since March, even though our facilities have been closed, we have had construction going on in our buildings. We've had our meal distribution activities going on. We've had some, staff coming back to pack up their belongings, so on and so forth. And because of that, we had to already create a stock of PPE. By no means am I saying that that's enough to cover if we come back in a hybrid model, but just to say that we do have some limited PPE already on hand, and we are building off of the stock that we already have available to prepare for a hybrid opening. And so
yes, just a correction, Ruth, we are meeting tomorrow, and we should, and the answer is yes, we should have an update on Monday. And I think in the larger group, someone had asked, what there are everybody's competing for the same masks and gloves and everything else. So that's what we'll discuss tomorrow and have some sort of way to approach that.
Thank you, John.
Yes, but one thing I will say is I do know everyone is competing for the same material. However, there are multiple vendors nationwide. I mean, I'm literally being inundated with emails every single day about groups that are chomping at the bit to provide PPE to school divisions because they know that this is coming up. So we are going to have to, just with everything else, think outside of the box, work with procurement on how we can quickly procure these items. And so we have a lot of work to do on the back end, but that work is currently underway. And so, Scott, do you have anything to add to the conversation? I do want to be respectful of time. We're about 5 minutes over. I wasn't sure if you had anything you wanted to add.
I'll tell you what, because we're over, I'll direct that to you later.
Okay.
And then we can bring it up in the next meeting because I want to respect the time as well.
Okay,
Thank you, though.
So are there any other questions, comments, closing remarks for the good of the group? Okay, hearing none. Just stay close to your emails over the next 2 days. As I receive more guidance, I will send that out to prepare us for Monday's meeting. I will recap today's meeting and some of the points that we discussed in terms of outside, extra meetings if you all decide that you want to do that amongst your core groups. And I am going to make sure that we review the meeting norms in the next meeting as well. That's been a request. So I'll make sure that I re-review those items just so everyone is aware. We have some new members, and I think that will lend itself to a good, productive meeting on Monday. So if there are no other, and I will make sure that I also include the names of everybody that's in each particular breakout room, so then that way you have that information ahead of time as well. Thank you, everyone. I will see you on Monday, but I do hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.